This is your daily market review for Tuesday, May 6, 2025. Let's go.
Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well.
This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your daily market review for Tuesday, May 6, 2025. Day before the FOMC meeting. Again, I apologize, didn't do a recap yesterday. My voice has been hurting. Getting over a bronchitis, sinus infection, been a mess. Either way, market still moves whether you're sick or not, and wanted to do a recap today because it is the day before the FOMC. And we do know that the volatility typically precedes such, and we're getting a little pickup in volatility. Not surprisingly, market's been on a tear. However, it's interesting if you go check out, again, I posted some things trying to get sentiment, thought processes from the average person who follows the channel. It seems to be, and everyone thinks the market's going to dump at some point. And again, the market climbs the wall of worry. We're seeing that there's headlines that there potentially will be trade deals announced later this week. We're also seeing that looks like Trump is pardoning Powell. And what I mean by that is saying like, hey, you know what? I'm going to let him have to the end of his term in 2026. Again, I don't know why he changes his mind frequently, but there's something fishy going on in my opinion. Now, we'll see what happens here. We know Buffett's raising cash. We know investors, retail investors are all in. We know the IWM short interest is at massive levels. It's a confusing market, right? Because if you're listening to the retail news outlets, you think the world's going to fall apart based on the trade tariffs. And if you're ignoring it all, you see a little bit of pain here and there, but nothing uncommon from the last 4 years, which again, I'm not going to get into politics, but higher prices, instability in markets. We've seen that for a while now. And again, we talk about traders market. So we know going forward, the FOMC day is typically going to be volatile. You're going to see extremes both ways. So hence why, again, I talked about in the Discord room, like if you really want to see the market max out, it's probably going to capitulate. And that's the thing, right? If you read Reminiscent Stock Operator, we talk about this. You need a liquidity driven event for operators to unload. Last couple of days of volume, it's been nothing. So I don't think you can really play the game in the mind saying, well, yeah, operators have been loading at these levels. Have they? So be careful. Again, we'll talk about it. We'll get deeper into it. So if you're new to the channel, check out the Discord room description below. If you'd like to chat, please don't hesitate to reach out. 30 minutes, let's get together online, talk about what your needs are. Hopefully, if you're looking to buy, sell, invest in real estate, and you need to find the best agent in your area, do not hesitate to reach out. I'm telling you, this is so important in the process of real estate. It's like pretending to go to a just a cut of the run, low end dentist, lawyer, or whatever, just using anybody that you talk to. Because again, the service you're going to get is different from all agents. And so again, let me find the best agent in your area after you and I speak. And again, I've done this for, it seems like almost every person I know in the Discord room and everybody involved. I mean, I appreciate the trust because I take pride in it. I want you to have the best service possible. Follow, like, subscribe, posting ideas and thoughts on Twitter, hit the notification bell on YouTube, get the phone calls. What? Yeah, sorry. Getting the bell ring. Sorry, my brain is just a little tired. It's tough when you're fighting these illnesses. And again, I'm not typically don't ever get sick. So it's like painful. So again, education everywhere. Check out tradeagent.com. And this is what we're talking about, this book right here. If you've not read this book, I'm telling you, this is one of the best books all time. Click on the link on the website, go to the Amazon, buy it, listen to it. I'm telling you, listen to it 100 times. Operators run the market. You and I are just peons. Our cash is nothing. But there's a game always being played behind the scenes, and that's how to understand it. And again, you put these 3 books together. I'm telling you, there's nothing else out there. You can learn how to trade based off of recurring patterns. It's not rocket science. So I appreciate it. Fear and Greed Index back into the greed level. Barely. So we'll see what happens. This is what we talk about. Imagine if you were shorting that extreme greed right at the zero, and now you're chasing up here. I mean, again, it can be a little painful. But this is where we're looking for liquidity to exit out of if we're going to sell, which I get it. And it doesn't necessarily mean the market has to tank following. It could just be a consolidation pattern or leading to what? Some sort of pullback. How deep, how much? It's tough to know. All right, let's get deeper into it. We know the Fed meeting tomorrow, there's nothing coming. Bitcoin, we talked about these levels, seems to be holding around here. I'd be watching this 94,000. Oil, bouncing. Looks like a nice double bottom, very clean. Again, geopolitical risk. This is why it's so hard to short oil. Again, you see OPEC looking to cut inventory, and you have geopolitical risk. I personally believe that, again, when you zoom out, we're at a massive level from the last like 10 years. I mean, could we go lower? Absolutely. But I think these levels matter and they will hold. That's my guess. Natural gas, again, got the bounce. Are you surprised? No, the levels matter. Let's get into it. Dollar bill, y'all, seems to be, I mean, we talked about chopping around. I'm personally not trading the dollar, but we watch for dollar volatility. Keep an eye on it. TLT, right? This one where it gets a little interesting, right? We're in between levels. I expect rates to go lower in time. If you go look at the FOMC, not the FOMC, but you look at the Fed Fund futures, it looks like lower rates in time. We'll see how this plays out. Remember, bond market's pretty smart. VIX, apologize, a little bit of congestion. Talking about this bouncing, talking about filling the gap at some point. We're up in the mid 24s. Sorry, upper 24s. Your guess is good as mine where it bounces to, but again, I think the VIX will be going down in time unless things are going to get worse. Again, the market knows the worst case scenario. It's called tariffs, trade wars. They don't know how bad, much worse they'll get. The VIX seems to be chopping around. Keep an eye on it. SPY. Apologize. Oh, come on. SPY. Some news just came out. Hold on. It's like I'm going to move the screen. Something just happened after hours. I'm seeing the futures move. Nothing at the moment. Okay. SPY guy. Traded this pretty easily today for a nice little bounce, a little head and shoulders bottom. Didn't really close well. Again, there is a gap here. I know some people are watching this gap to close. I've got an alarm. Do we get there tonight, futures wise? Do we get there tomorrow? Do we get it during the whoosh around from the FOMC? Good question. Good question. Don't know. However, I do suspect that at some point we will get up to where it all started. Somewhere around this 200-day. When? We'll see. Again, everybody and their mom expects the market to dump. Everybody's saying, well, you've had 10 straight or whatever, 9 straight up days. It's got to dump. It's got to come back to earth. Okay, when everybody says something is going to happen, you should be very careful because the odds of it happening just decrease the more that everyone thinks it's going to happen. Remember, the market's really good at taking the most amount of money from the most amount of people. It's playing with the games with emotions. And not to say that we aren't pulling back, but what if the pullback is just the last 2 days? Keep an eye. QQQ. Chop it around. Same kind of thing. Could it fill the gap on the monthly? Now, if you zoom out, you'll see what I'm talking about. It seems to be holding up. AMD after hours holding up. IWM, same kind of thing. They've been holding up really well. Pulling back, filling the gaps. Keep an eye on it. Again, I personally, this is the thing, whether you're bullish or bearish, I don't know. Like, in the end, what's going to happen because there's so many near-term things that haven't been priced in. Because, again, if you get Trump doing all the trade stuff, and then you all of a sudden get some deals, you get, again, the accelerated 1-year depreciation, you get tax cuts, you get the capital gains cut, tax at zero. Whoa. Market's going to fly on that. It doesn't care. Maybe Buffett's sitting on the sideline, looks like an idiot. But again, this is where it's so hard to time the market. That's where he talks about you find the stocks you like, you buy them. Don't be surprised at the volatility. It's part of the game. Now, I mean, personally, again, I recommend always speak to a financial advisor. Near term, it's hard to know. That's why everyone wants to have a crystal ball. And I'm telling you, the crystal ball is to actually learn how to ignore the short-term noise and play the bigger trends. So we'll see what happens here. IWM, again, I like small caps. I've said that. I think they've gone nowhere for 5 years. Go watch previous videos. They have more upside long term. DIA been, chopping around. Not much to say on it. Good old gold. Again, we've talked about we like gold long term. Second quarter typically choppy and pulling back. Now we're popping on lighter volume. Do we break out? Silver is yet to break out during this whole run. Is it going to start now? That's a good question. Again, watch the dollar as well. GDX, miners. Nice bounce. Is this a bounce or is this the start of the next move? Same thing, GDXJ, right? AEM, this has been the boss. The boss leads, okay? Got over the 20-day. We'll see what happens here. Again, a lot of these names look like they've topped. AG, again, silver is a little trickier, but a lot of these names like Newmont, miners, some of the indexes, they don't look like they've got the gusto. They didn't seem like they're that strong. But here's again, I'm not going to go recommending stuff, shorting the stuff. I mean, again, consult with a financial advisor. Do your best to have your mindset figured out on this. Meaning, like, if you're married to the thesis, go right ahead. I mean, I don't see long-term pain. I just don't trust the second quarter, and I'm on record just trying to be confirmed that and be consistent. Fast, same kind of thing. Don't trust it. Let's get into tech. Taiwan Semi, chopping around. We talked about this, had a nice move up. Not surprised at pulling back. Micron, this thing has been a dog. Ruff, ruff. Even dogs bounce a little bit, get some fleas. Nice little bounce. AMD after hours earnings tonight. It's up at 103, up a couple points. We talked about it. Does it fill the gap? Have a run to the 100-day. Again, I'm not necessarily like, I hate to sound bearish on semiconductors. I just don't think there's much upside long term. I've said that. I'm on record because, again, we talked about this for years. It seems like forever. When you get into a cycle of a chip cycle, you get overproduction. When you get overproduction, you have too many chips. And when you have too many chips, what does that do? It's going to kill margins at some point. Now, again, AI is the future. No one's doubting that. But did we price in the never-ending price appreciation in chips? I think so. Hence why you can have the reversion to the mean. NVIDIA seems to be holding up pretty well. Again, I'd be watching for the 120s before I do anything. SMCI announced their earnings. Chopping around. Again, this is a tough one. Intellectual property. Again, I like the trade here. Then you can play the 18s up to the 20s. Again, I don't know what the buyout price ends up being on this sucker, but I do think there is one. I would keep an eye on it. And I'm not going to say we know anything for sure because, again, at this point, just keep an eye on it. Just keep an eye on it. Because, again, I think if a foreign entity wants United States exposure into the semiconductor space and chips, that's what they do. They just buy Intel. They just write a quick check. AVGO, again, their buyback, big buyback. Again, I don't know if I trust them so much, but keep an eye on it. 200-day, or sorry, the 100-day above you. SMH, as we talked about, even this is going to bounce. It's not always going to go straight down. Again, I personally think the move is in, and all it means is that you're going to either consolidate for a long period of time, or you're going to go down. And I hate to like sound like a bearer of bad news, but you look at where this stuff's come from. I mean, 2020 SMH is at 49. You did a 5x'er, 6x'er almost. Again, not saying ships are going out of business, but the valuations, the whole sector, it's money rotation. Just keep that in mind. Okay, be safe out there. Let's get in some other tech. Adobe, Adoobs seem to have bounced. We talked about this holding the right 340. Okay, see what happens. Applesauce. Again, I like it down here. I think there's a play here. Again, consult financial advisor. This is just my opinion. Watching the blue zone, post earnings drop. They're going to move all their manufacturing, right? India, whatever they got to do. Now, near term, again, I don't know what it'll be 3-6 months from now. But what's the truth here? I mean, if it holds this level, it's due to bounce. I mean, it's just that simple. Like, you don't have to overthink it. I don't need to spend a ton of emotional capital. And if it doesn't, that's okay. But I don't mind a retest at the lows. 20 days now turning up. You have a doji. Keep an eye on it. Amazon seems to be chopping around post earnings, dropped. Not much downside, not looking like it. Meta chopping around. I don't know if this is because, again, they get hurt by a trade deal. I don't know. I'm watching this level. I like Metu in this 28, 29 range for a trade. Keep an eye on it. Again, it's had earnings move, holding up pretty well. Again, I don't see Meta. I mean, again, we'll see how it plays out. And again, we don't know anything for certain. Again, I'm trading probabilities, repeating patterns. I could be wrong here. Again, do your own homework here, ultimately. CRM, we talked about the double top, bouncing around the 50-day. Keep an eye on it. Guggenheim. Keep an eye on this 50-day. Again, a lot of these names have been throttled. That's where, again, even in a downtrend, just like an uptrend, there's big pullbacks, big up moves, counter trends. So just be careful. Microsoft's been holding up really well. Again, NDAQ. Again, I think this is the best short if you're shorting the old like Nasdaq as a exchange. Because again, I don't think the volume is going to be there forever. Again, I apologize for the cough. But watching the 100-day MicroStrategy. Keep an eye on this one, right? Again, if Bitcoin's going I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't get back to the 480s for 450s. I apologize. Netflix. And there was a little bit of a trade war thing going on. It didn't seem to phase them at all. Again, but this has been on a nice run. Roblox, I mean, it'd be amazing if you could just see Green Day every day, but this has had a nice bounce again, held the 200-day. Congrats. CrowdStrike again. We like cybersecurity names. We talked about this. Nice bounce. Pan W again. If you would have bought this one a couple weeks ago, looking good. Consolidating here again. I really do like these names. Tesla. This one's been kind of a doggy dog last couple days. Watching this area again, I took some profits on it and actually some losses too, and just said, you know what, I'm going to watch here. I don't know anything for sure. Maybe I'm about, again, high and tight would be bullish. I just don't like the way it's performing going to an unknown, aka Fed meeting. I don't know. So be careful with it. You know, there's gonna be times where you're gonna miss moves. Again, protect profits. Palantir, this one's been a beast. Dropped on earnings. Not surprised. Buy the rumor, sell the news. We'll see what happens here. Again, you can extrapolate all you want from the numbers. The price action to me just says today, you got to double top, and until we get over it, it could go in the chop range. I mean, if you zoom out, you know this thing went from almost like 20 or 30 bucks up to 125. Maybe it just needs a little consolidation. Insight. Again, I like this name getting bought out. I like watching the mid 50s. HIMS had earnings bounce. Okay. And we've talked about this. Feels like this is a big consolidation pattern. If you bought the range lows, cool. Not much to say here. Again, I mean, upside, you filled the gap here. Some other gaps of around 64. I don't know. There's a lot of people who are just bullish on it. They're bullish and then bearish, but I don't care. Short interest is high. I think, again, I don't think there's a much bear to entry in their business. That's all my warning. Baba, talked about it. If you bought this at the 200-day, now it's rising. Someone thinks China, something's going on. Keep an eye on it. McDonald's, this one's been basing. Is it going to break out? Keep an eye on this one. Starbucks, don't like Starbucks. But again, we talked about, like, you have a clear double bottom here. If you want to play this and trade it, cool. Airbnb, chopping around. Coin, this one needs to get over this downtrend, and it's just not. Seems to be basing around here. DKNG has earnings coming up. Be careful. Thursday morning. At this point, I don't know. Again, in front of earnings, I just get out of the way. Just get out of the way. Costco seems to be holding up. I mean, again, we talked about potential head and shoulders on this thing long term. Everything priced in. I don't know. This one's been on a beast. Federal Express, keep an eye on this one again. If the market's going to dump, you would think FedEx would drop. It seems to be holding up pretty well off the lows. But again, nothing set in stone. Trade it, manage it. Financials, we talked about these being overbought, but man, they seem to be getting bought on the pullbacks. Keep an eye on it. Hood, we talked about recommending this one. I like this one. You just really need to get over this 50 area. Keep an eye on it. JP Morgan, again, diamond calling for the ultimate recession. All right, are we going to get it? I don't know. Morgan Stanley, doing her day, watching. Bank of America, chopping around. Goldman Sachs, chopping around. Right, a lot of these names had a nice bounce. Okay, so they pull back a little bit. Keep an eye on it. Carry, again, if you don't like banks, junior banks should get crushed. I mean, I don't really see anything wrong with them. I know we're probably coming into, it looks like a downtrend. I mean, how you define you want to draw it. We're not really there yet, but again, things you wouldn't see. I mean, think about the April 9th lows or 8th or whatever that day was. When you see names that are over it, I mean, you can't argue with the strength. So junior banks are going to do okay. I don't know if the market's going to get dumped. XBI, this one's been, I mean, just talk about this one being a good trade. Nice bounce, pulling back today. Again, I'd be looking for entries on the pullback. Like where this thing's come from. You're watching that 20-day Jets. Even the Jets get a win every once in a while here. Bounce, right? Now what? Your guess is as good as mine here. Not a big fan of airlines. I think gas prices will go up, but keep an eye on it. XHB. Keep an eye on this one, right? We talked about housing even got a bounce. We'll see. Some of the commodity names. Dow. I was pulling the trigger a little bit on this one. 20-day. Keep an eye on it. CE, again, we talked about some of these names have just been oversold. Nice bounce on earnings. Congrats. Caterpillar. These names seem to be building off the lows, way above the April 8th and 9th highs. Deere, thing's been a beast, holding up. Just keep an eye on it. Nucor, right? I like steel. right? Look for weakness. You want to play it. X, we think is going to get bought out. Keep it simple, stupid, right? IIN is broke the downtrends and holding up pretty well. Now, again, could it pull back and chop around? Absolutely, but man, it looks good. Your friend VALE, keep an eye on this one, right? That was a big gift. Arrow, this is one we owned. Talked about this. Man, I got a lot of long-term calls on this. I talked about buying this stuff. Now, near term, we'll see what happens here. But again, this is the thing. You had the capitulation. You had earnings. I don't know how to judge the numbers. They didn't seem amazing, but they do have gold and copper reserves. And guess what? Market likes the way it's acting. Keep it simple, stupid. I don't know where the next term stop is. The thing could get going. FQVLF, same thing. Watch the 10 to 15 range, chopping around. SSEO, again, copper stuff. Talk about looking for pullbacks. FCX, same kind of thing. Holding up really damn well. URNJ, again, we like junior uranium. Here we go. Looking good. CCJ, we talked about this 36 level. Looking good. CF, chopping around, 200, 100 keep an eye on it. Mosaic, I mean, they had earnings after hours up a little bit. He's been on a really good run. Look at 30, 20 up to 31. After hours, 31. Again, near term, I don't know, but I like the momentum in these names. SQM, same thing, was buying a little bit of that today. I like it down here. NTR, keep an eye on these names, right? Like, again, some have been acting better than others, but again, as the whole, I like the commodity index. I'm on record saying the same thing over and over. Broken record, Dan. AA, again, like this one down here. Same thing. Feels like it's basing. Calu, this one's been holding up pretty well. Has earnings coming up. Keep an eye on it. MP, if you like commodities like rare earth metals, you got to love this one. Keep an eye on it. Cliff has earnings coming up after today. No, tomorrow. Seems to have been brutally beaten. Keep an eye on them. Solar. Even solar's getting a bounce. We'll see what happens here. Again, I don't really trust a lot of these crappy solar names. ENPH, again, they didn't throttle, but I like for solar. Hopefully that's very clear. Has a great base potential. And HYG, again, not really too much to say on corporate bonds, but just watching them. Just watching them. Oil again. Nice bounce. Oh, I went way too fast. Keep an eye on this, right? Looks like a double bottom. UNG, again, beware geopolitical stuff going on. It's hard to know. UNG, again, I hate this product. KOLD, if you shorted this at 31, you're doing pretty good. Congrats. Again, we like the XOP. We talked about it as a gift. And this is the hardest thing. We're like, oil back at the lows, XOP, not even close. Somebody knows something, right? Gasoline name should be getting crushed. Someone knows something. Valero holding up, chopping around. ExxonMobil, right? Chopping around. BP seems to be chopping around, holding up pretty well. Back test that trend was a gift. Occidental, holding up. Devon Energy. Remember, some of these names have earnings coming up, so don't be too crazy. Right? Chopping around. Apache, chopping around. Lyondale Base. Again, I like all these names. Just keep an eye on them. CVE, we talked about this is a gift at the 10 level. Chopping around. EQT, again, if you think natural gas is going to be a big game, I mean, think about it too. If you read some of the stuff going on with the European negotiations, again, they want to get off Russian oil and gas. So here you go, EQT, and then last but not least, Flex LNG. You're going to understand why it makes sense. We'll be natural gas exporters. All right. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Always here to help. I love you guys. Again, I apologize. Not feeling so well. I've been, just dealing with this bull crap. Hopefully I'll feel better. Started some antibiotics today. Again, already starting to feel a little better. Want to hopefully recover fully soon. Just, I don't know, just want to get better. And that's all I can do. And again, think about trading too. When you get into tomorrow, the FOMC meeting, do not be surprised by the extremes. 2 o'clock, the announcement, nothing. 2:30, the press conference. What he'll say will matter. You will see fluctuations each way. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Always get involved in the Discord room. If you have questions, we'll be around. I appreciate all the love, support, just donations. You guys have a wonderful evening. I will talk to you guys and gals later. Peace.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.